Andy, thank you for that. Thanks for working so hard on it. You let the story do the talking, but
it does the talking, doesn't it?
It does, but there's a lot of work that goes into letting it do the talking.
Well,
so thank you. I've heard you do that message before at funerals. I remember
teach that text before.
Yeah. Not the message. I'm sorry, but teach that text about Lazarus. And I mean, there's a couple of staff members actually that I can think of that passed away. And you told the story of Lazarus. What is it about that story that resonates with you that you would think, hey, this is for people even at a funeral?
Yeah, well, like I said toward the end, I really think, Jesus kind of manufactured, all the other signs, things happen and he responds. Mm-hmm. This one, he kind of created. Mary and Martha were right. He could have kept that from happening. So you can't get around the fact that he sort of manufactures this sort of tragic event for a purpose. And I do think that all of eternity, our entire lives are condensed to that afternoon.
That's a great
There's
point.
the pain, there's the question, there's the fear, there's the but I was told and I always thought. It's all condensed, and at the end, Jesus enters into the sorrow. You cast your cares upon him, he cares for you. And then there's the resurrection. And I think Jesus manufactured this sign just before he's going to go to Jerusalem and be crucified to say to future generations, you can have hope, you can have life, and at the expense of someone I loved, he created a message for future generations. So I think in a funeral setting, I just don't know of a better passage. There's theological things Paul said, but that narrative, especially Jesus wept, and then Jesus created a resurrection moment for Lazarus. I just think it's all there.
I think the first time I heard you do that at a funeral, I thought this is in a way, it's kind of a bold message to do at a funeral because obviously in Lazarus' case,
right,
it's the good news that everybody sitting there at the funeral is
Meanwhile,
hoping.
we're going to a graveside right after.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I've always thought in some ways it doesn't make sense, but to your point, I love that line that you use, that death is a door. That death is just a door for us to get to experience, not to get to experience, to have to experience what's on the other side of it, which is the eternal life that Jesus promises. So it is an interesting funeral passage, but thanks for sharing that.
Well, if you get the opportunity or tasked with doing my funeral one day, you're ready to go.
We're going with Lazarus.
You're going with Lazarus.
You heard it here first, people. At Andy's funeral, Lazarus it is. Hey, next week is Easter, as you said. Next week is one of the easiest times, perhaps, to invite someone.
Yep.
Why is that the case? Why is Easter the easiest time and probably the best time to invite somebody?
It is. It's in some ways, theologically, it's better than Christmas. Christmas and Easter, and fortunately in our culture, this isn't true everywhere in the world obviously, but in our culture there is still a respect for religion, there's still a respect for Jesus. Even people who aren't Christians, everybody wants a piece of Jesus. So people expect their Christian friends to go on Easter if they don't go any other time. So it's the easiest time, and we know there are many, many, many people that only go on Christmas and Easter. Right. So if you're going to invite someone to church, invite them to a church that they might want to attend the following week as well. And here you're launching your series, which is going to be so practical because, again, as I said in the service, everybody has something to come back from, and everybody knows somebody who has something to come back from. So if you've got friends who are, again, they're bouncing back from an addiction, they're trying to overcome a divorce, whatever it might be, bring them Easter, and then bring them back the next week to your Clay series. See how I put it back to you?
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's true.
Easter, we've got Saturday service times, we've got Sunday service times, but I love, we gave a guy named David Bowler a shout out. He lives in Castleberry, Florida. He said he's hosting a watch party in his gazebo on Saturday evening, so way to go. Again, David, thanks for that. But thanks for preaching today. Thanks for all that hard work.
We'll do it 2 more times.
2 more times today, which is wild. So thank you for being a part of this. Remember, northpoint.org/Easter. We've got some great tools for you to invite somebody next week. If you're watching with us from another part of the country or the world, host a watch party. If not, we'll see you here next week for Easter. Thanks for being a part of this. See you later.